We have just learned how to solve linear equations. As a reminder, a linear equation can be written in the form ax plus b equals 0. Remember, the defining characteristic of a linear equation is that your variable is raised to the first power. We call that a degree 1 equation. In this section, we're going to learn how to solve degree 2 equations, also known as quadratic equations. There's 4 different ways that we can solve a quadratic equation, and each method is necessary in different situations. A quadratic equation in one variable can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers and my leading coefficient a cannot be equal to 0. So as we saw with our linear equation, a, b, and c represent constants or real numbers and our variable is x. The defining characteristic of a quadratic equation is that the highest exponent that I can find on x is 2. Where a linear equation is a degree 1 equation with one solution, we say a quadratic equation is a degree 2 equation, and quadratic equations have 2 solutions. These solutions may be real or complex. Quadratic equations can be solved with 4 different methods. They can be solved by factoring, by the square root method, by a process called completing the square, and by the quadratic formula. Remember, to solve a linear equation, all we had to do was isolate x. That was one procedure that universally applied to linear equations. Quadratic equations have a lot of different nuances, and we've got 4 different ways that we can solve the same equation. While the factoring and square root methods are convenient, they don't always work. But completing the square and the quadratic formula can reliably solve any quadratic equation. So we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations using all 4 methods.